So this is the rock I was presented with from a student from just these last holidays, and I don't usually ask for the location until I've made my guess of what it is, and I couldn't really work out what it is, and giving me the location sort of helps a little bit. It's from a beach, so it could have been from anywhere, and it's from the Sunshine Coast in Australia. Um, so does that help? It helps a little bit. It means the rounding is because it's weathered, and anything that was softer would have been gone. So this is the hardest thing that was left out of something that might have been quite massive. There's just this little tiny bit left. So that is helpful. When I was first presented with it, just a 1 or 2 minute look at it, the student thought it could be a fossil because there's these lines here, which is fair enough. And it is an unusual shape. It might still be a fossil. I'm not going for that, though. I thought because it was extremely hard, it felt like a piece of quartz. And because there's lines in there, maybe it's some sort of agate of some sort. That was my first guess. Okay. And so then I did a few more tests on it. Okay. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got to break it open to see what it really looks like, because it could look absolutely nothing like that on the inside. So the first thing I note was I think I wrecked the tiles outside, and you get that spark, burning, metallic smell. And then I'm worried I'm going to injure my wrist or something because I'm smashing the heck out of it. It's very hard to break this thing. And that's what I got when I broke it. And so it's kind of dark on the inside and maybe weathered on the outside. I was hoping maybe to see striations or an agate inside there, and that's not really obvious there at all. And the bits left over are like powdery. And I tried to scratch. I got a 6.5 is the hardest of a calibrated scratch test I have, and it could not scratch that. So that's very interesting. So I'm thinking maybe it was it's not an agate, but it looks don't know, striations. That's about it, but not really. Okay. So go under the microscope then. So plain polarized light. So I haven't done every rock and mineral in the universe. I've done about 100, which should cover you for pretty much anything you're going to see when you pick up something random, because rare stuff is just hard to find, and so it's not necessary. They're not fused, all right, which that would make this a basalt if they're microcrystalline. I was hoping that this would be low relief and on the cross-polarized colourful, so that tells me it's a quartz or microcrystalline quartz, and that'd be the end of the story, but it was not, unfortunately. It's a little bit higher relief, which is not that high, but it looks just like a carbonate. And then go into plain polarized, that's the best I could get. So there's no colours there at all. So it looks very much like a carbonate, but it can't be a carbonate because it's not soft. It's not like 3 or 4. And so it can't be a carbonate and it can't be quartz. There were little bits of pieces there that were low relief that had the blue-brown, so there is definitely a tiny percentage of feldspar, so there's definitely some silica in there. But that looks like a carbonate, but it's too hard to be a carbonate. I did find this, but I do get microplastics in here. I do use a brush to brush off the dust sometimes. So I'm not sure whether this is a previous limestone and that's a fossil microorganism in the fossil, whether that's an artifact. And I was pretty desperate because it's not matching up with anything. So I went to the actual just grains that before they were crushed. And there's definitely grains that you can make out. And so I'm thinking, like, if I had a $500,000 electron probe, if I could just get those grains and know what the elements and their percentages are, that would help. All right, so that grain is not a quartz, that's just one out of heaps. It's just not well defined to be microcrystalline quartz, and they are So, the hardest thing you're going to get is something that's out of context, like something from a beach or a river. And then if it's from a beach, it's just worn down to the only thing that was left. So that's probably not the original rock. And then when you get to microcrystalline, that's the other weakness. So you need to get more expensive equipment. But I think the best guess at the moment would be this was a limestone that has been metamorphosed and infused with silica and hardened with silica. So detrital optical mineralogy works best with sedimentary and igneous rocks because you can easily see the substances before they get changed. It works worse with metamorphic because metamorphic is undefined. It's in the midst of changing from one thing to another, and especially microcrystalline as well. So this is probably one of the hardest things to do, which is why I think you need to go to more expensive machines to get a finer analysis. But I think the best guess at the moment is it was a limestone. It was infused with silica and heated, and just in that part. And I suspect the majority of the rock was not like that. So there may have been some contact with silica and heat, and it was slightly metamorphosed to the state it's in now. So it's some sort of limestone that's become extremely hard due to some interactions with silica. And it's a little bit uneven, and it got worn out and smoothed out with the ocean in that little part of the rock that was heated and fused with silica. Okay, that's the best I can do without more expensive equipment. So that's definitely the limits of this method. All right, microcrystalline metamorphism. Definitely better with plain igneous and sedimentary rocks, although it can do some metamorphism if it's large enough crystals.